Get rich fast with csgofast.com.
We are here at ECS Season 1 Finals, and we have our first semi-finalist locked in, and that's Luminosity after a couple of matches, first off against NIP. First of all, let's go through like the past couple of weeks, because I know that you haven't really played any officials. I think it was like 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks that you haven't played any officials. Have you used that time to practice more? Have you used it as vacation, or like how did you kind of go through those 4 weeks?
So hello everybody. So the first week we went to Vegas, tried to relax a bit after we won the ECS Pro League tournament. And then we tried to go back to the practice, but we had a lot of stuff going on because of this organization changes kind of things. And also because American teams was not practicing too much. We had a lot of people playing the qualifiers for the major. Other teams were not practicing too much. So all we could do is sometimes play 1 or 2 maps daily, being honest. So practice-wise speaking, it was a rough 2 weeks. We didn't practice too much. But we try to keep ourselves in a good shape, playing deathmatch and play a lot of ECS games, this kind of thing, so we could perform on skill-wise speaking better at least.
All right, so now that you've touched on the SK and LG thing, now I understand that you probably can't go into too much detail, but can you at least kind of show us what will be the biggest changes maybe between the two organizations and how the future will look for you?
Yeah, so basically we are very excited to work with SK. We did some mistakes during this change. For me, we did 2 big mistakes. The first one was when we kind of decided to look for another organization. This wasn't really a mistake because that's something everyone can do in your life. If you have a job, you can look for another option. And we are not satisfied with LG when we decided to do that. So it's kind of something that today I regret because we should have been more transparent about that. So we learned from it. And the other mistake we did during this change is after we made a deal with SK, we want to go back. So this is something that doesn't exist, and this happened because we are very emotional people, and we really like what we have been building with LG during this time. But I mean, this can happen. I mean, this is business, and you can let emotions lead you into decisions. So I, personally speaking, I was the one in the team who made the most mistakes about that. So I just like to say sorry for everyone who was reading this kind of things and following us, because what I can say, we learned a lot from that, and this will never happen again, at least from us. So about that, I think all the team was super happy that both LG and SK and the players sat down together and find a solution that would be good for everyone. So now we're just looking forward to play for SK. I don't think there will be a lot of change regarding the fact that now we can practice in SK bootcamp area. They have one in Cologne, but that's not too much difference because we have been bootcamping with LG as well in the past. And there might be some other change, but I can't really talk too much and deep about that. But we're in good hands. SK has shown a lot of good level of professionalism during all this transition. They're super professional, and we're very excited to work with them.
All right. So touching on this event, you first met NIP, and that was on Train. First of all, were you expecting Train to come out as probably one of your worst maps? I would say. Even I think when we talked last time, you kind of said that Train was a little bit rough for you guys. So what did you expect from the match itself and Train?
Yeah, we love playing Train. Being honest, it's one of our strongest maps. We have lost only a couple times on it. I think we have lost sometimes to Fnatic, sometimes to Navi, and I think one time for G2. So it's a map that we feel super confident playing it, and it's a map where AWPs can have a lot of impact as well. So for me, personally speaking, it's a good map to play. And I didn't know. I thought they were looking more to play Cobblestone against us in the first game, but they decided to go for Train. So we're quite happy about it. And the first match, even if it was the same score as the second one looks more difficult because every time our economy has been broken, they're winning rounds after we get some CT. But on NIP game was different. They won both pistols, and we kind of showed good progress during both sides. So definitely good match from us, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just realized I was talking about Dust 2, not Train. That you were talking about kind of being like one of your kind of two worst maps. That has obviously changed. You've started playing Dust 2 a lot more. So touching a little bit in detail about the match, in the start you lost the pistol, and then there were like 5 or 6 rounds in a row where you just pretty much wrecked them over and over, and then it kind of fell off. I think it was the 9-6, and then they kind of came back, but you didn't allow them to kind of complete that comeback. So what can you tell us about like the ending of the first half, especially when they've kind of been able to take the 6 rounds?
Yeah, so our first gun rounds were super good. The first gun round I remember punishing Forest for being playing aggressive mid, and then we just finished B, and I got another kill on Pyth. I was lurking on a 5v4. And then the round pretty much ended at 5v3. And the second gun round as T, I remember Taco made a good play on B. He got get right off guard, and then he won B for himself. So it's pretty much round over. And then I remember before this game, warming up, I created something new that we never tried out. But actually, we did something that we did try before, but I implemented something different, and it worked pretty well. So we got another gun round because of that. And then the fourth round, I remember Taco did almost the same thing, I guess, get right, and got him as well again. So there was another gun round. And then we kept going. I don't remember details on the other rounds, they were pretty common. I remember we lost an eco, that was pretty important. But I think we finished 9-6. It was pretty unfair, right? Because we lost an eco and lost pistol, but that's how CS is. If you lose equals or you lose pistol and don't win first rounds, that's what happens. And then we went to CT half, which pretty much they did 5-0 on us. I was betting they would do kind of explosions B. So I was playing with AWP there, but didn't pay off. They went A every time. So on 5-0, they said, okay, FalleN, they're not doing what I think they're doing, so just go back to A, and then we started making some rounds again.
All right, so then you kind of move on to Liquid, who a little bit surprisingly, I would say, beat G2 in their first match. Again, the last two maps there were Dust 2 and Train. Why do you think they went with Train as opposed to Dust 2, and kind of did you expect that? Yeah,
I think if you take a look on past results, past time, maybe 6 months ago or something, Liquid would pick Dust 2 100 times. Yeah. For sure, but what is happening is that lately we have been playing a lot of Dust 2 matches in A, and I think we didn't lose any single map for any of them on Dust 2. So if maybe they study us, and that's the fact that they actually watched us playing against an IP. So I think if Peacemaker and Liquid Crew felt they could have more chance on Train. But I was quite surprised about it as well. I didn't think the map would go for Train. I was expecting other maps.
So what you said there was kind of a more difficult map out of the two. Why?
Liquid was difficult because we had a good start as T, so the T side was pretty much the same against NIP and Liquid, a little more difficult I think, but on T side they kept breaking our economy every time. Even if we won pistol round in the second round, the third round they won 2v5, and that was actually my mistake on doing a retake B. And then every time we've made equals, gun round, win a round, and then they came with something, they changed the pace, like there was a rush A, they did a super good, they killed it off us, off guard. So I mean, they play super well. They changed the pace when it was needed. They have good strategies, and even if for a team that's not really a team, they're kind of have simple as standing, for example. They're waiting for Pimp. They show it great team chemistry. So they play super well.
All right, so now locked in for semifinals. What do you expect from the other group? Obviously, it's like the two biggest favorites there will probably be Fnatic and Astralis, expectedly. Do you expect Fnatic to kind of come back to their previous form when they were playing with Wolfmeister? We've already seen a little bit of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think Fnatic with Wolfmeister is another team. He's one of the most important pieces on this team, so they're looking scary again. But I also think that Astralis and Fnatic should go out of this group. But I think Cloud9 and TSM can surprise. I mean, it's two BO1s. If you win pistols, if you raise their economy, you can take a map. So I think it's up to the North American teams to really enter the game and try to put their pace, try to do their best, because they can win maps. So it's more than time to see these American teams kicking out some teams from Europe. So it would be pretty funny. But being realistic, Astralis and Fnatic are, of course, favorites to pass the group stage.
So what about Astralis specifically? Obviously, they went through this change about a month ago. What do you think about the new team?
Yeah, I think definitely it's looking scary. Kajarbai is a super good player. He has been putting up good numbers for Astralis already. I kind of feel sorry for Kenjun B because those guys are like family before, like every time they're together and they're super cool, all of them. But I mean, when you are stuck on a level, that happened to us before. I mean, you have to try some change. And let's see, it's a shame that Kajarbai is not going to be able to play the major. I think this is kind of sad for them. But this is a good tournament for them to show everything they got.
All right, so now that you've touched on the major at least a little bit, how do you think this event will kind of affect how the teams will show up at the major?
I'm going to be super honest. I never believed on people saving stuff for other tournaments. At least for us, when we enter a tournament, we're going to do our best to win this tournament. And we're not going to play this tournament just say, we saved some stuff for next tournament. This is not how it works. And being honest, there is not too much you can save. Like, there's not too many strategies you can just, this one they don't know, we're going to win a round with that. No. CS nowadays, the meta game and how it works, people already know all the strategies. It's like the Games Academy videos I'm doing. People say, FalleN, you're teaching everything you know about Mirage. Everything I know is because I have been watching them in the past, so they know that as well. It's not something that is just unique for us. Of course, some stuff are very unique, but I'm not teaching those kind of things as well. So some details are very specific, but I don't think you can save a lot to another next tournament. So I think whoever wins this tournament is going to show that they are on good pace to win the major as well.
All right, thank you very much. I think that's pretty much it. We're going to come back in the coming hours with the other group, so stay tuned to hltv.org.